Hello there, my beautiful Aquarius signs. It's Rachael with Dark Knight Coaching. Today's video is going to be for all of the Aquarius, whether that's sun, moon, or rising sign. I am an Aquarius rising sign, so I get ya. I am here with you. I'm all about this reading. I do feel like there's a lot of changes happening for you and just generally for the collective going on in this August time frame. I'm recording this video on 8/8, which is the Lionsgate portal. However, there is a big full moon coming in for you on the 18th to the 19th of this month, which is August again. But if you're watching this video at a later date, there's probably something still relevant in here for you because you've most likely been guided to watch it. Now this is the full moon, but it's also a super moon or blue moon, however you want to call it. I think blue moon is how they commonly refer to it, which basically is just the second time that Aquarius has held the moon in this year. So it's just a very significant period because whatever seeds you were planting back in February, they're coming to fruition now. Like most of it is going to be coming to fruition. Sorry, I'm on my phone, but I'm trying to look up the lunar cycles. I have most of it memorized, but not all of it. So it's hard to remember the past cycles. So new moons are all about planting seeds. The full moons, it's kind of like reaping the rewards of that harvest. So in a particular field, wherever that falls in your chart. So Aquarius for me is all about the humanitarian aspects. Like, what did you put into play in February that was like something you were trying to do for the collective, or were you investing time into some sort of creative endeavor because you might be getting like a contract or a deal coming up pretty soon for you to really help harvest that and to put it into place. So if let's say you were a music artist and you wrote some lyrics and you started like really honing your skill and honing your craft over the last 6 months or whatever, you might be surprised that you might be posting your music on YouTube or whatever and you get like a slam dunk, a lot of followers or something along those lines. So take that as it resonates, but if it doesn't, don't worry about it. Now I do follow a lunar schedule. So this reading is going to be like good. I mean, it's good, it's indefinitely good, but this particular energy that I'm like harnessing at this time for you, Aquarius, will run, through August 19th, through your full moon area and kind of into the beginning of September here. So September 2nd is a new moon in Virgo. So make sure you're aware of where Virgo lands in your chart because that's going to be very significant for a lot of us as well. I like to think the Virgo stuff is like OCD. It's kind of like honing the OCD factors of like what's happening in your life, like the tedious like little details that only Virgos seem to like. That's what I think is going to happen for you here going into September. And maybe some of you don't like to hear that. I'm a Sagittarius sun, so I don't really care for like a lot of the small things. I can do it because I'm a bit OCD, but I generally I'm kind of like a let's do it or get off the pot kind of a person. So that might be a hard time for me. However, there is going into September, there's a north node eclipse and a south node lunar eclipse happening, a solar eclipse in the south node and a lunar eclipse in the north node. So make sure you're checking your nodes and things like that to see where that falls for you, because I do feel like there's going to be significant changes into September and October. But that's enough of the lunar stuff. Hopefully I didn't bore you to death. If I didn't, hit the like button and subscribe. It helps my channel to grow and I greatly appreciate it. Now, I pulled tarot for you and I pulled wisdom oracle cards, and both are very synchronistic of what's happening at this time. I do feel like for a lot of you, you've really had to like cut ties with old people, old patterns, old relationships. Definitely a lot of friendship energy. For some of you, this is pertaining to love. Not for all of you, but only I say for some of you because I have the King of Cups here. This is a very masculine energy. This is in your past. So this is like somebody you really had a deep connection with. This could also be like father energy as well. It doesn't necessarily have to be like a lover energy. I know that sounds weird, but everything is energetic, and we all have masculine and feminine energy. So this is like the past vibes for you is King of Cups, and this is just a very masculine, loving energy. But your current energy is the Hermit. So this is like going within, hermit mode, literally. Maybe you're stuck at home and you're just not wanting to go out. You're not like feeling the vibes of like people. You don't want to be around people. People just cause chaos and problems. Like, oh, there's like a Janae Aiko song and it's like, hell is other people. I love that song because it's accurate a lot of the time. Which is why I do YouTube on the internet. So anyways, I say that because you have these two wisdom oracle cards, and you know, one is time to go and the other one is no place like home. And then this one to me looks like a planter, you know, like those planters you see out in the garden hanging a house little thing, except it's not, you know, like you hang like my plants back there. That's what made me think of, like, I don't know, you're in hermit mode and you're like focusing on yourself, focusing on your house. You're just like watering plants and being happy with your succulents and maybe your cat. That's a vibe. And then this time to go is like you're letting go of the past patterns, the past karma, this like whatever situation that was toxic that you were holding on to, you're releasing that, because it's only led to like petty I don't know if I can cuss on here. I'm not going to do it, but petty ABs, you know? So this gossip, this network, whoever this is that you were with, whatever friendships it was, maybe this was like a third party situation for you, Aquarius. I only say that because in your subconscious, you have the Three of Pentacles, and that's usually like the work together card. But in this case, with all of this other energy, I feel like it was like third party stuff, because also in your subconscious, I pulled a clarifier and it was the Five of Pentacles, which is like being left out in the cold. So like somebody was gaslighting you or tricking you or manipulating you probably into this relationship that they already had something else going on, most likely. And that's just led to this gossip, and it's affecting your heart just 100%, because the green around this card is tied to your heart chakra, and that's like you feel betrayed, and now, you know, maybe you're the talk of the town or vice versa, like whoever's energy this is, like you're over it, you're done with it, which is good news, because you're really practicing discernment here, which I don't get this card very often. This is from my Power of Love deck, and it's a great card. It's a wonderful card. It says you are developing the skills to distinguish love from fear and truth from illusion. So like maybe somebody was presenting themselves in a false way. You know, a lot of the times we get blinded by love, but it's not even love. It's this we get blinded by this refraction that we see of ourselves in another person. So this is why limerence and love are very hard for empathetic people. They're very hard for people with neurodivergence or ADHD. We often get those things melded together because we can't imagine being that cruel or callous or manipulating or, you know, strategic towards somebody we supposedly love. So it's hard for us to discern someone's actions versus what they're saying. And, you know, a lot of the times empaths or just empathic people, which if you're watching this video, you definitely are, because not a lot of people who are narcissistic leaning tend to watch videos about self-help and things of that nature. But a lot of the times it's hard for us to come to the conclusion and really grasp that people are malicious and they don't have good intentions. But then if you're doing the introspection and you're in this hermit mode, hopefully you're really seeing that that's a reflection of them and not of you, because what you saw in them is your own reflection. And that hope that you had was really like how you would have handled that situation if you were given the opportunity or the chance, or, you know, if you were basically envisioning yourself in their shoes, what would you do? And that's the hard part, is understanding that people can only meet you at the same level at which they've met themselves, and that's not always, you're not always going to be in the same vibrational frequency, and that's the vibrational frequency of love. And a lot of the times people are living in a fear state and they can't escape it until they do the healing, until they go within and do the work. So it may not happen in this lifetime, and you know, that's okay. So now the next card I have for you is another oracle card. It says, I trust my inner wisdom to guide me. So I do feel like you're really following your intuition, and then with this discernment here, you're really putting things into practice here, Aquarius. This is great. Kudos to you. All of this warms my heart. I know you're probably dying on the inside and you're like, oh, I hate this part. it does get better. It does get worse. I'm not gonna lie, it's a roller coaster. It's an emotional roller coaster that everyone has to go through. And Spirit does send us tests when we're in the midst of struggle, and that sucks. It does. It's just like, it's a testament of will, and your commitment is being tested at this time. So the first quarter moon, that might be a significant time period for you. So make sure you check out the lunar calendar again. And I really, really push the moon cycles, because the moon is tied to our emotions. The moon controls the tides. The tides are water. Water is emotion when it comes to tarot and oracle, anything. It's subconscious stuff mostly. The moon is like the subconscious illusion that we know is there, but we can't really see. Now, the next card, let's do this one. The next card I have for you, Aquarius, is from my I Ching deck. I don't pull the I Ching like normal. I just kind of shuffle through the cards and take whatever flies out. And like when I shuffle, when I'm meditating and stuff, like the cards fly out, like they just come out. I don't pick one. I don't do that. I just like, I can show you how I do it. I'll read the next one. But I just like sideways shuffle, and then like whatever one card decides to fly out, I'm like, oh, that's the one for you. Or like it gets stuck in my hand. Yeah. Okay, so you have deciding, number 43, and corruption, 18. Now, I'm going to read 18 because I think this is very pertinent to you. It says, corruption, something dark under the surface of life, manifesting as the patterns of a negative experience. This comes from our past, our parents, and our culture. It's time to examine these old patterns and to understand where they come from before you can tend to the growing seed of change in your life. What's behind the trouble? What's the hidden cause? I didn't read these beforehand, so you're just getting this like fresh when I'm reading them, and I haven't memorized all 68 or 64 of the I Ching, so this is another synchronicity for you, Aquarius. I'm excited for you, but I also know it's like a tough spell. But this is also like totally has to do with the introspection and this hermit mode and a seed, a plant. So the plants might be significant for you. There are some great plants that are used for protection or for healing or for whatever in general. I have a lot of like mother-in-law tongue back there, which is like snake plant, I think it's called. And then I have like a rabbit foot's fern, and then ivy, and some other succulents, and some aloe and things like that. But at my doorway, I have a yucca plant, and the yucca is a great plant for protection. So you might want to look into that, and just putting something by your door to just kind of keep out negative energy. And also the snake plant is like I think NASA recommends one that's like one of the 3 plants that are like the highest in filtration, basically, like it cleans your air. So the next I Ching card I have is 43, deciding. This one says, asserting your identity and right to be heard is where your decision begins, but declaring the truth is dangerous. It stirs up old ghosts, inner and outer. Yet better this than ignoring and neglecting them. So focus with clear intention on what you're moving toward rather than what you're reacting against. What do you stand for? How do you define yourself? What belongs in your realm, and what do you need to make a clean break from? Again, I think that's why your commitment is being tested here. It's like you're having to let go of these like gossipy people, and that might be friend groups that you've had for a very long time. And sometimes it's really hard to let go of people, even if it's family. Sometimes that's not, always good to keep around either. And sometimes we do get tested with our own families and things like that they come back around and they want something or they want help. And, maybe they weren't there for you in your time of need, and now you have to use discernment, whether that's how you want to spend your energy or not. And, only you can be the judge of that. Now, the next card I have is the owl card. Some of you might be seeing an owl. It doesn't have to be a real one. It could be like this picture, or like, when you're scrolling on the things, you might be seeing an owl. That just might be a synchronicity for you. Now it says pay attention to the winds of change, but I feel like you are making these winds. You are making these waves. You're doing the change. You're doing the introspection. You're doing the healing. You're doing the inner work, and it's really, really going to pay off for you. Now, the third eye intuition deck card that I pulled out was ACT. It says intuition isn't just for a special or momentous moment. Tap into your intuition every day and lead yourself forward with every moment. Pay mind to what you see and what you hear. Now, intuition is tricky. I'm not going to lie. Like, you have the discernment card, but I find that there's a lot of spiritual people on here who try to push their courses and things like that for intuition. I can't stand that. You know why? I consider myself a very attuned person, but even I have doubt. Like, it's certain points in time where I ask my guides or spirit or the ether or quanta, whatever you want to call it. Okay, it is real. It's out there. It's scientifically proven. So don't get me started, because I could talk about quantum physics all day. But I do get lost in trying to decipher or discern if it's my own intrusive thoughts, because I have plenty, or if it's really what's happening. So I tend to ask for lots of confirmation, because I'm like, okay, if this is what I'm supposed to do, send me like 5 confirmations so I really get it, because I'm very dense, literally, in this 3D world. So you gotta like beat me like I don't know what I can't say things on here. A horse, okay? Like, I'm afraid to say things and then get censored, and then I'm gonna be like, ugh. Anyways, you know what I mean. You know what I mean, Aquarius. You're Aquarius, they're jokesters. You totally get it. Anyways, last card for you. Oh wait, not the last card. Last oracle card, and then I have your tarot cards here still. I think you have one more tarot card. I feel like I've built up the suspense enough. Sorry, I feel like I'm eating my hair. I would edit my videos, but I don't like editing, so you guys just have to watch. It was a hair. Yeah, you have to watch that. Okay, so the last card I have for you is River. This is kind of like, I think of this as my like narcissism card. It's like, are you really looking at yourself in the reflection here? The river is like your river of emotions. It's like, can you look at yourself? Can you introspect? Can you do the work? There is a horse in the picture, in the refraction basically of the image. And to me, that horse could signify like you're dealing with Sagittarius, or it could be like maybe you felt in the past like you were leading a horse to water, this King of Cups, and you were trying to make them drink. And you realized no matter what you did, no matter what you said, if you used the carrot, if you used the stick, if you get that analogy, please hit the like button, that no matter what, you couldn't make them do anything. So now like you're only changing yourself, because you can't change anyone else. And that is the toughest pill to swallow. It's 100% hard. But once you reach that level, then you realize those people that you're trying to make do something, you're trying to change them, that it would never work, because it would grow. You would plant the seed of resentment, and it would just grow a bunch of weeds. And then in the end, you'd probably end up not being together for the long term anyways. So like all that work would kind of have been for nothing. Or if, they may not appreciate the fact that they did change. But in the same aspect, it's kind of like, when you get in a relationship, you break up with somebody, and then like that person goes on to the next relationship, and then they do all of the things that you asked them to do. And it's like a slap in the face, but it shows you that they were capable of doing it. They just didn't want to do it for you, which again feels like a slap in the face, but it's not, because it was confirmation of your own thoughts of like, hey, this person totally could have done it. They were capable of doing it. It was just I wasn't the right person for them. That's not a reflection of me and what I'm looking for. That's a reflection of what they were looking for, and them not being honest with you about it. And sometimes that's a hard pill to swallow, and that can leave you feeling like left out in the cold with this 5 of Pentacles energy. So your last card. I saved the best for last, Aquarius. I did, for real. This is a heavy reading so far, but it's all good things. Now, you have the 6 of Wands in your future. This is celebration. This is victory. This is you passing these tests. I do feel like you passed this test with flying colors. I do feel like there is a lot of growth on your part. I feel like you realize here with this gossip card and all the pettiness that's happening that, it's quality over quantity for sure. And that's just going to lead to more rewards later on, even if you have to kind of go at it alone for a bit, which can seem daunting. But once you're in it for a while, you kind of get used to the solitude, and And that is rewarding in a way, because not a lot of people can sit with themselves and be comfortable with themselves for very long periods of time. Like, a lot of people have to have a filler because they identify with that. And once you get away from that sort of lifestyle, it's very freeing, liberating, and very much so you're able to like take a step back to see the forest through the trees, and then you're going to be able to spot it in people like really easily, and it's going to help you practice this discernment and your intuition, where you're like, that person really needs somebody because they need a crutch, and then you're going to know. So anyways, thank you for watching, Aquarius. I hope this video helped. If it did, please hit the like button and subscribe. It helps my channel grow, and I greatly appreciate you for being here. If you're interested in a one-on-one coaching session or a personalized tarot reading or an oracle reading or the combination of the two, please feel free to reach out.